Once you click the Home Calculator tab, it brings you to this screen. Here you have two choices, either the full version of the decision engine or the free version. Now, the full version takes all the information that you've put in on your property and yourself and goes out to our data exchange and pulls a value on your property. This is as close to an appraised value as you can get without doing a full appraisal on your home. And it is very accurate. And most lenders use the same sources that we use to pull that information, which is very important since you want the most accurate answer possible so that you can make a qualified decision of what you should do with your loss mitigation choices. Also, it goes out and pulls a historical values of your property for the last 12, 24, and 36 months, and then calculates based on that information over the next 6 to 12 months what your home might possibly be worth. So with the full version, that is what you get is a very accurate display of what's happening with your situation with your home and what your possible answers are in regards to your loss mitigation choices. The free version takes your information that you put in and comes up with a very basic answer of what your options are. So depending on which one you choose, let's, for example, pick the full version to move forward. So I'm going to choose that. We're now going to start the Home Calculator tutorial, and the first screen we will come to is your personal details screen. Here you will put in your name, email address, phone number, and state and zip code, and then you need to read through the terms and conditions and then click Create an Account. An email will then be sent to you with your name and password that you then will use to log back in and to your own personal account, and then you can continue putting in information for the decision engine, which will start on the Employer Details tab, which we will go to next. Here we are looking at the Employer Details tab. Here's where you will put in the information about your W-2 employment. Here you would put in who the employer is, the gross income, and then also whether that gross income that you entered is monthly or semi-monthly or annual. And then you also will enter in your net income, and again, whether that is a monthly, semi-monthly, or annual number. You also find off to the right of the fields, there's a mouse over question mark that if you move your mouse over, it gives you information about that field and what we're looking for as far as the information. Also, once you get the information put in here that you're happy with, click Add an Employer, and it will then add that down here where we actually have one already entered in the employer list. Here you can see the net income, it's annual, and then you can, of course, either edit this to make changes or hit the red X to actually delete your entry. And then at the very bottom, you would then click Next to move on to the next screen. On some screens, you'll actually need to click a Save button to save your data. Also, you'll find here at the top, if you wanted to go back and make changes to the personal data, or once you're past any screen and you want to go back and make changes, you just have to click that tab at the top and you'll go back to that next screen where you then can make changes again. So once you click Next, we will then move on to the next screen, which is the Subject Property tab. Now here we're on the Subject Property tab. Here's where you will put in information on the property itself and on your mortgage. At the top here is information on the address of the property that you're looking for help on, whether that is your primary residence, maybe it's a vacation home or investment property. Then under property type, it might be a single family residence or a condo or a multi-unit property. Then what we're going to put in is the actual original price of the home when you purchased it. After that, we have the estimated home value. Here's where you are estimating the value of your property is. The next area here is our monthly taxes and insurance. This is your monthly property taxes that you pay on your home. Whether it's impounded or not, you still want to put in the monthly amount of your property taxes, of your homeowner's insurance payment. Maybe you have flood insurance, an HOA or Mello-Roos, and then check here on your agreeing to the information above. Then the most important question you need to answer, these are extremely important to help us with our decision engine decide what your best options are. Do you want to keep this property? You may be in a situation where maybe you don't or aren't able to keep the property and a loan modification may not be your best answer. Well, then maybe a deed in lieu or a short sale is. Here's where you also would put in, do you have any was it a stated income or stated asset loan? Did you provide income in written form when you obtained this loan? Were you asked to sign your mortgage application in handwriting? Have you received a notice of sale on your property? Have you received a notice of default? Sometimes these are called an NOS or an NOD. Are you currently employed? And are you actively looking for employment, yes or no? Then down in the next area is the add a mortgage. Here's where you actually put in the information on the first mortgage, for example, on the property. Who's the loan servicer? Go through and choose of the loan servicer that you're with, pick which one that is in the pull down menu. Then what the loan number of your loan is, the loan type. Do you currently have a fixed rate or is it a variable rate or is it a reverse mortgage? What is the current term of your loan? Is it a 15-year, 20, 30-year? Then what are the number of months you are currently behind? If you're currently behind 3 payments on your mortgage, then just put the number 3 here on how many months you are behind. Under the original loan amount, this is the original loan amount on your first mortgage, in this case, of when you first took the mortgage out. Then, based on your most recent statement, what is your current loan balance? And you can get that off your most recent mortgage statement. Then the original loan date, when you took the mortgage out, what your current interest rate is, and whether it's an interest-only payment or whether it's a normal 30-year amortized payment. Now, if you have, let's say, a pick-a-pay mortgage or a pay option ARM, as they're sometimes called, you want to not put in your current rate. Let's say you're making the negative amortization payment on that payment option ARM, and let's say it's 2% is the rate. You would want to put in the fully amortized rate of your mortgage in the interest rate field here. And then your mortgage payment plus principal and interest goes here. If you have impounds, do not include that in this payment. I'm just looking for here, the decision engine's only needing your mortgage payment, which is just your principal plus interest payment. And when you're done filling all this out, click add a mortgage, and then it will save it down in your mortgage list. So we already have one mortgage here. You may need to go back up if you have a second mortgage and put that information in as well, and then click add a mortgage, and then it will put that information down here. And very important, before you move on, you want to save the property information before you click next. So click save property information, and if you're now complete with this, all the information on this tab, then click the next page and you'll go to the next tab. Now we're on the additional monthly income tab. Here's where you put in any additional income above and beyond your W-2 income that we entered under the employee details tab. You could have average monthly commissions that you get every month. Maybe it's a monthly rental income. Maybe you get income from child support. You would want to put in any additional income that you receive in this area because it's very important to capture all the different types of income that you have. And again, you can just mouse over the question mark and it will go through what goes in here and what details we're looking for. Then, as you can see here, we actually have one already saved down here. If you have additional income on top of this, you can pick that and then just add an income and it will add it. And then clicking next will move you on to the next tab, which is the debts tab. We're now on the debts tab of the home calculator. Here you put in either another, let's say another mortgage that you're paying on a different property. We're looking for a total car loans. Again, we don't need individual, just total car loans, total monthly credit card payments. Maybe you have student loans. Anything here would be any additional debts that you pay, and then the monthly payment and the balance. So here you can see we have a total monthly credit card payment that we've put in with a balance of $24,000 and a payment of $760. If we then wanted to add a car loan, just pick that, enter your payment and balance, and then add that debt as well. And when you're done adding all your debts on this tab, then click the Next button, and it will take you to the expense screen. We're now on the expense screen. Here, you will put in your monthly living expenses. They are your utilities, your cable and satellite, fuel, food. These are expenses that you pay normally every month. And as you can see here, we have put in a few already where it shows you the expense type and the amount paid per month. When you're done entering each expense, after you click Add an expense for each one, and you're done, when you're complete, then click the Next button to move on to the Assets screen. We're now coming to the end, and we're on the Assets screen. Here's where you put in information on what you currently have in checking, in savings. Maybe you have a money market account or an IRA or 401k. Go through and check each asset, put in the current balance, and then click Add an Asset, and then it will be saved down here in the asset list. We currently have in here now on the asset list a checking account with $12,000 in it. Then once you're done entering all your assets, click the Next button, and then we'll move on to the payment screen. We're now on the Payments tab. Here, if you were referred to by an individual, referred to the site, and they gave you a reference code, you will put that in here. If you have a promotional code, you would also put that in here in this field. Then go through and put in your credit card type, and then of course your security code, the credit card number, and your name and address as it is on the card, and then your expiration date. Then click the Submit button, and you will be taken to the Results tab. That concludes our demonstration on the decisioning engine called the H.O.M.E calculator. Thank you.